Don't sir me, young man. You have no idea who you're dealing with.
Hello, Aposta peeps. Alright, I've stumbled on a couple of videos that I thought deserved my attention. So, we're going to jump into a video called Love Never Fails Despite, insert ellipsis, an Ungodly School Environment.
American history and practical man. You study hard. Because school is the devil.
So without further ado, let's cut to the chase and,
Let's do it.
Okay, so you all know my biggest pet peeve is the targeting that Jehovah's Witnesses, and specifically the organization itself, the governing body, the society, targets children and teens whose brains are not fully developed. This is one of the best ways for a cult to keep members. They get members by giving birth to them.
Push!
And then they keep them by brainwashing from birth.
What if Jehovah doesn't want to be my friend anymore?
Okay, here we go. Of course, there'll be a link to this down in the description, but we are going to look at the video Love Never Fails Despite, insert ellipsis, an Ungodly School Environment.
How would you like to suck my
One day at school, a boy asked me in front of everybody.
You want to see a picture of a guy with elephantitis of the nuts?
One day at school, a boy asked me in front of everybody why I don't salute the flag.
Alright, so a couple of things to look at right away. Listen to the music, right? It's very, daunting and sad. And then you notice how the little boy character is doing the direct finger pointing. They're already kind of creating that this is a negative thing.
Oh, you better watch your tongue, young man. You better watch it.
Yo! And there's nothing you can do about it.
expecto patronum?
I want you so bad.
Rather than identifying that, yes, non-Jehovah's Witnesses do this thing called critical thinking.
Boo! Boo!
And asking questions.
Rubbish! Filth!
And you'll notice with anything that targets the Jehovah's Witness youth,
Did you say Utes?
that there's almost a dark cloud over anyone asking questions, because remember, questions are bad. Questions are for the devil, Bobby Boucher. But you'll notice there's immediately this nervousness of people asking questions. And it's extremely important that they teach children from a very, very young age the persecution complex, which is basically if somebody asks you anything, you're going to start feeling uncomfortable. It can't be because of child curiosity. I mean, if they asked a Jewish person about Hanukkah, that wouldn't be persecution. That would be inquisitive, or maybe even interested. But Jehovah's Witnesses are taught that if their beliefs are questioned, they need to be prepared to feel a shitty, shitty feeling that only Jehovah can rescue them from.
I got the poo on me!
I had to go up in front of the entire class and give an answer.
Okay, I find this interesting. I was never asked to stand in front of my class to explain why I didn't salute the flag. I was never asked to explain why we weren't allowed to vote, or participate in class elections, or celebrate holidays. Okay, wait, I take that back. I was asked. I was just never asked by a teacher. But my parents damn well prepared me, because you have to be strong, and if you're uncomfortable, you clearly don't have faith in Jehovah. So I'm going to say this is a little misleading. Now, I'm not saying there aren't teachers out there that are assholes and like to put kids on the spot.
We were just sitting here like we're supposed to.
I don't want to hear it, mister. You just bought yourself another detention.
But I never personally experienced it. In my experience, I would have gone in front of the class because my parents would have done research with me after someone asked me, and then I would have prepared what I was going to say if, at that point in time, depending on the grade, I hadn't already been programmed with my responses. So, this part, I'm not buying.
I was in a new school and I wasn't expecting to be pressured to smoke electronic cigarettes or vape.
You know from birth that you're going to be pressured to smoke electronic cigarettes or vape. You are also well aware at a very, very young age you'll be pressured into sex, drugs, and yes, God forbid, rock and roll. So for any kid, especially this kid that looks like he's junior high in high school, for any kid, I'm not even saying a JW kid, for any kid, okay, most kids, because maybe hill people don't have these conversations. School is the gateway to naughtiness. After school specials have been saying it for years. I didn't know I was going to be pressured into smoking electronic cigarettes and vaping. Lie.
It was really intimidating. I was afraid if I didn't do it, I'd get beat up.
Do I want to get beat up at school in front of everyone, or do I want to get beat at home in privacy?
But I love Jehovah and his standards, so I knew I needed to take a firm stand.
Okay. How do I explain this without going out onto a tangent? Yeah, fuck it. One thing that is very, very different between Jehovah's Witness kids and kids who are not Jehovah's Witnesses, normies. For most children, if you ask them why cigarette smoking is bad, why drugs are bad, why electronic cigarettes are bad, they know from a very, very, very young age. My 6-year-old could quote the whole dirty, rotten.
Tumor-causing, teeth-staining, smelly, puking habits.
My point being, young ones are taught these things are bad for you. They're detrimental to your health. They can cause addiction, affect your oral hygiene, your heart, your lungs, your sexiness. Children are taught that these things are bad for the reasons that they actually cause detriment to your health and to the health of people around you. Not going to hear that from a little Jehovah's Witness child. What did he say? Why are cigarettes bad?
But I love Jehovah and his standards, so I knew I needed to take a firm stand.
Cigarettes are bad because of Jehovah's standard. It's a do or do not. So rather than teaching them the actual consequences of choice, everything comes down to shame and Jehovah's standards. This is also a wonderful, wonderful way to teach kids to not problem solve and think on their own. To just regurgitate, this is Jehovah's standard, this is Jehovah's standard, this is Jehovah's standard. And I promise you, this black and white thinking is what causes a lot of kids who either become disfellowshipped or inactive or stray, or whatever we're fucking calling it these days, to have issue as soon as they become worldly, automatically assume that all non-witnesses drink, smoke, electronically and otherwise, do drugs and have sex, and it becomes a very all or nothing. So there's a lot of little lines under there that they're using to needle into our little children's undeveloped brains. I say that in knowing that my brain is yet to be fully developed, which is fine by me as long as everything else is developed well.
I remembered from family worship and our practice lessons, the first thing I needed to do was pray to Jehovah.
Okay, I believe that family worship is the new term for the family Bible study. I think it's the same thing. We used to do ours on Monday nights, after dinner, homework, and preparing for the Tuesday night meeting, which would happen the next night. Mondays sucked in my house.
I remembered from family worship and our practice lessons, the first thing I needed to do was pray to Jehovah. But the only thing I had time to say was, Jehovah, please help me.
This is actually sad and disheartening because I have had those prayers. I want to say millions, but I don't want to exaggerate, but clearly into the 100,000s.
Jehovah, please help me.
And it is a sickening, sinking feeling in your stomach, which I personally would not relate to feeling safe. You're on your own. So that makes me sad. It does remind me of when I was little, and you're scared and nervous. And the only thing that you've been told is rather than to have confidence and to understand why you do or do not do something is...
Jehovah, please help me. My personal study and my Bible reading helped me to view Jehovah as a close friend, and my love for him moved me to take a stand.
Okay, so you notice that she said through whatever the family Bible study worship thing is, and then her personal reading, and I don't know if she threw prayer in there or not, but I am, that she was reaffirmed that Jehovah is her best friend, one of her friends, a close friend.
A close friend.
You notice that personal study did not explain to her why she does not salute the flag. It just reaffirmed for her why Jehovah
as a close friend.
So she wasn't taught to critically think or to do research. Why do I not salute the flag? What's the history behind it? No. Her study was a reaffirmation that Jehovah is your friend. Jehovah has standards. Jehovah is who you should follow. It really doesn't matter anything else that comes after that as far as using your head. If Jehovah says it, that's it. And if he doesn't say it, I'm sure there'll be some new light later on.
I quickly found out that just saying no wasn't going to be enough. My stand for Jehovah had to be serious.
I swear to God, I'm not used to this vaping stuff. It looks like he's like shoving a pregnancy test in his face.
My stand for Jehovah had to be serious and specific. I needed to rely on him and pray, so I did. But I also realized I needed to do research.
Okay, cool. So being a spiritual young person and pray about it, for guidance, which isn't at all uncommon. And then look at this. He's gonna do research. I'm pretty impressed. Like, I'm glad that they are teaching kids that the best way to give thoughtful, truthful, and factual answers is to do your research.
I found some Bible principles that really helped me, like not defiling the flesh.
Let's not lie. I saw that coming. Of course, the only research they're going to do is right there on the jw.org site, using only materials provided by the society, and the pieced together research that they use to prove their point. Don't get me wrong, asses, I'm not saying smoking's okay. What I'm clearly pointing out is that the research is picky-choosy. You can only research publications that come directly from jw.org.
So when the pressure to vape came up again, I prayed to Jehovah to give me the right words.
Mecca lecca hi, Mecca hiney ho.
He made me calm, and I told them, because of what I've read in the Bible, I choose not to vape. I'm not gonna do it. Don't ask me again.
It's so sad because it completely takes away the power from our youths. They're not strong because they feel good about the choice they're making. They're not strong because they clearly stand for what it is they're refusing, speaking for, or accepting. You cannot be strong on your own. And this is an ongoing theme when it comes to publications released by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. Jehovah gives you strength. Jehovah gives you words. Jehovah gives you thoughts. Everything comes from Jehovah. You are incapable of making those good choices on your own.
Jehovah was always with me, and I never ever felt alone. He gave me boldness to talk to many students, and I've started many Bible studies.
Okay, so case in point. You're not going to hear, I was bold. You're not going to hear, I had strength. You will hear, Jehovah gave me boldness. Because of Jehovah, I had strength. Because of Jehovah, I wasn't afraid.
And I've started many Bible studies.
And of course she started many Bible studies.
Thankfully, the pressure stopped, and the kids seemed to really respect me for my stand.
But I would love to know the rest of the story.
This has helped me to trust and rely on Jehovah more than ever.
I know it's a broken record, but now I learned to trust and rely on Jehovah more. So you can't rely on your gut, you can't rely on your instincts, you can't rely on your experiences. God forbid you rely on your own research. You rely on Jehovah, and the governing body is his mouthpiece. So what they say comes directly from God to them, to you.
I love Jehovah, and I'm so happy I took a stand for him.
That there's Bethel worthy.
I would stand up for any friend, and I'm glad I stood up for Jehovah, because he's my very best friend I could ever ask for.
And that says it all, doesn't it? I'm starting to wonder if we're not slipping into Catholicism here. I mean, if he's your best friend, you're supposed to marry your best friend, you marry God, then I guess you're going to be a nun. You never know. There could be new light. Well, apparently that was it. So what did we learn? We learned that if times are tough, do not rely on yourself, your own thinking, your heart, your own physical strength. No, you rely on Jehovah. And in the same way he held David's hand, you will beat that giant called the world.
Oh, what a lovely tea party.
I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you forgot. At my age, that happens frequently. So remember to subscribe. And I will see you next time.
I'm on the television.